Konnichiwa minasan, genki desu ka? Genki? Yogata desu. Watashi ni mo genki desu. Hey you guys, it's been a while since I've talked to you. I hope all of you are doing well. I'm doing good myself. If you've been following me on Instagram, then you know already that I've got accepted for a job in Japan. I interviewed with Nova and they have accepted my application and I'm going to go over to Japan through Nova. So what this video is going to be about is going to be about where I applied for the position, the interview process, how long everything took, and actually I just sent out my visa documents, stuff for my visa today. So hopefully they'll be getting that and then being able to process my visa and everything. So I'm going to be discussing a little bit about everything. First thing I do want to say is that I have done a lot of research on the different types of jobs that I was looking for in Japan. If you watch my other video, you know that I've done countless and countless of research on different types of jobs. And one of the reasons why I did settle on applying to Nova was because I was looking for a job where I wouldn't have to travel to go do the interview. A lot of the other positions like ECC, I think also Enact, Aeon, Aeon were jobs that you had to travel to maybe like Toronto or Los Angeles in order to interview with them and decide if you're going to get the job. And I was just kind of like, okay, so that knocks out 3. I didn't really want to do that because that's money going out of my pocket to go to Japan that I'm earnestly saving for. So I don't, and then it's not guaranteed that you're gonna get the job. So that's what $300-400 out of my pocket to go interview, and then I might get the job. So no. So that did narrow down my choices a lot. The only other 2, well, Blitz. I was going to try to apply to Blitz, but I found out that I couldn't apply to them because they didn't have any positions open for Osaka. They only hired overseas for Tokyo, and I guess after you get into Tokyo, after some time goes on, you can try to apply to the one in Osaka. So I was like, no. So that left me with 2, GABA or Nova. And I went through a whole segment on GABA in my previous video, how they don't pay for transportation. You're not guaranteed no classes, you ain't guaranteed nothing with GABA, so realistically, Nova was pretty much it for me, so I was able to get it. So what I'm going to do is just talk a little bit about the time limit, the process of me applying, and when I heard back from them, when they gave me accepted for me to do the interview and all that type of stuff. So I do have my list of notes written here on my tablet, which sometimes acts retarded, so excuse me. So I applied for Nova through Gaijinpot. You on Gaijinpot, you basically write information about yourself. It's like a resume, your cover letter, and everything into Gaijinpot. So it was not long after I had submitted my application, maybe like 2 or 3 days, when I heard back from Nova saying that I passed the initial screening and that they were offering me an interview. So with the interview, I had a week to tell them what day that I could go and interview with them. So I interviewed with them the following week. And I'm going to go into a little bit of information about the interview. So during the interview process, it didn't really feel like an interview, if that makes sense. basically some of the questions that they asked me was, what are your plans for the next 5 years of your life? Why do you want to come to Japan? Um, questions like that. And I think they also asked me about my previous job experience, which I did tell them that I am an independent contractor now teaching English online, um, and everything. So they asked me questions like that. Um, and then then the lady who interviewed me, she went into a discussion about Nova, how many hours I would have to work, holidays, all the different reimbursements you get for working with them, um, all that type of stuff in the interview. So the interview I think lasted between 30 to 45 minutes, which like I said before, didn't really feel like an interview. Um, and I think some of the things that she was interested in, I was telling her that I was interested in getting my own apartment. I've been to Japan before. I speak the language. I can get around pretty easily. She was giving me some advice on things that I can do and everything like that. I was like, yeah, that's what I plan to do. So I think, like I said before, it's not very difficult if you have I feel like if you have a degree, um, a bachelor's degree, you should be able to get a job with just about any company. Even though I've read some places that they said the same thing, that it didn't feel like an interview, but they didn't get the job. So I think really going to Japan for that year, and maybe the fact that I'm an independent contractor now and Nova's kind of like an independent contractor, I think that helped out my chances. But I really think it doesn't really matter if you have an interest to come to Japan and you really show it. I think that helps out a lot. Maybe experience teaching English to someone, I think helps out a lot. So after I did the interview, 2 days afterwards, I was offered a position with the company. And on my Instagram, I actually did a screenshot of what they said. We are offering you a position to come to Japan. Um, get started. So I was like, so that was 2 days after I did the interview. However, I do want to say this is that I did apply for Nova like super, super early, but they were telling me that my interview was good for 6 months. So April, May, June, July, August, September. I plan to come to Japan in September. So that was perfect timing to just go ahead and just get the interview and stuff over with. I'm not sure. I messaged some other people like GABA and Blitz, and the best time to apply for them is 3 months ahead of time. So if I were to apply for GABA or the other companies, I would need to have applied in June. Yeah, in June I would have had to apply. So I'm looking at my notes. Okay, so they told me to get back in contact with them in May, which is what I did. I contacted them like May 5th or May 6th, asking them to start my visa process, like sending me the paperwork to fill out to start my visa process. And that took a couple of days to hear back from them. But then one of my friends were telling me that it was Golden Week in Japan. Sorry, itchy eye. So that's probably the reason why it took so long to hear back from them. But I finally did get my visa documents and was able to fill those out and then turn them in today. So I'm waiting on that. So that's gonna probably take about 10 days to get to Japan so they can see all of it and everything. But that's, let me look at my notes. Sometimes I forget. Okay. Yes. So I did send that off today, and I will hear back from them in 10 days. So I really want to stay in Osaka. So I've noticed that Nova is, from what she told me in the interview, she also talked a lot about the company and everything. that they're based in Osaka, so that's a plus because I really want to be in Osaka. Don't want to be anywhere else but Osaka. So I told her, I have a lot of friends in the Kansai area. I really like to be in Osaka, and so I can easily be to go and see my friends. And it just reminds me of Georgia, how Osaka people are, friendly, down to earth. I want that when I go to Japan. So that's the reason why that's the reason why I wanted to also apply to Nova. I didn't know that they were based out of Osaka until the interview. Like, I've done so much research, but I did not know that they were based out of Osaka. So I'm really hoping that I do that. Mind you, that I have been doing a lot of information about Nova, and I know that they did go bankrupt in 2007, and I know that Jibun Mira is now over Nova. Like, they're taking over all of Nova and everything. So we'll just see about everything. But I'm positive that everything will go well. I'm not gonna be negative. I'm not gonna talk negative about anything. So I'm just very excited that I get the opportunity to go back to Japan and to see my friends and to improve my Japanese. And another thing I wanted to say, this is going to be a long video, I'm sorry, that I did find out some crucial information about working in Japan, and it's not possible to work just part-time in Japan as a foreigner. I did find that out, and that did kind of upset me a little bit. I was like, should I still go back to Japan? Like, I don't want to work full-time. But then I got to thinking, I can go ahead and pay off my student loans in 3 years with the salary in Japan, and I can be free from my loans. I'm making plans to try to go to Bethel or move to the southeast and help out there, and just be free from debt. So I am looking at this in a positive view. I have started looking for apartments too in Osaka, which I really, really hope that I'm in Osaka area so that all this research is not going to waste. But I have been going ahead and looking for apartments and everything. So yeah, I think that's about it. I'm trying to think if there's anything that I've left out. I've already kind of figured out what type of congregation I want to go to in Osaka. Like, I think I want to go to the Kema. It's the same congregation that the English congregation is in. It's a Japanese congregation. I think I want to go to the Kima or the Umeda congregation there. I want to be close enough to the English Peter Hall, so if I get spiritually sick or anything like that, I can easily be right there at the English. Be able to plop there and be like, I'm there, good, So I wanna be close enough to Makita Hall and everything. So yeah, that's about it as far as news and stuff go. I will keep y'all posted on the visa process. So mark this day here about how long it takes. I'll write down everything to let you know how long it takes. But I'm just super excited to be going back to Japan. I can't wait to eat Japanese food. I can't wait to hang out with the brothers and sisters here. I can't wait to travel, which I hope that I will be able to have the time to travel. So yeah, but we'll figure all that stuff out when we get there. But just happy about going back to Japan and being able to speak Japanese again. I really do miss it. I miss it. Alright, you guys. Well, this is going to conclude my very, very long video. Thank you for sticking with me. And I will talk to you very, very soon about the process, the visa process, and everything. And then get this ship on going. We're going places. Going back to Japan. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye bye.